In order to be able to switch out the antenna, we need jack and jack stands and a bunch of tools because we need to disassemble the whole rear portion of the car in order to get one for me, 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 one for me. Christmas is here again. So, as you saw, we have the first Christmas of the year today. The second one will come in a long time. We will have summer, everything else in between. We have a bunch of stuff for the MX5, which I have ordered and collected and so on for a period of time now. But finally, we can start with the modification. So in today's video, I will walk through what I will be doing with the MX5 and why I'm doing it and so on. And we also have some modifications coming for the BMW that is sitting outside, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't already subscribed, please do consider doing so and give me a like for the video, and also hit that bell notification to stay notified when I upload a video. I have been doing some number crunching on the YouTube analytics, and I think it was 93.5% of the views I get are from non-subscribers. So if you do like the channel and if you do like the content, I would much appreciate if you would subscribe then. But anyhow, that's the ass licking and so on. So let's get on with what we have in the packages. I will do quick unboxings and we will go through each part, and the intention of today's video is not then starting modding today. We will do some of the stuff together and some of the stuff I will do by its own, so to speak, during the modification, and I will do some uploads and hopefully it will help somebody out with the installation part then. So without any further ado, let's get on with that. As you saw, I have not opened most of the packages, so I don't even know how some of the stuff looks in real life, so to speak. So this is going to be very interesting as I'm doing this together with you then. But what we'll start with is what I think is the most important for the ND platform, and that is stiffening up the suspension. The ND do have a quite amount of body roll, etc. And in general, I am a bit allergic to having a soft set up car, so to speak. I don't know why. I just like the more, how should I say, tight feeling. And on the Mustang, as an example, I had the Magnerite suspension together with lowering springs for the GT350, but still in the track mode I thought it still needed to be a bit more stiff, so to speak. So this time around I have gone for coilovers, and these are from Meister R, which are a specialized company in creating coilovers for different types of vehicles. And I have gone for what they call the Meister R Club Race, and I hope I won't regret my choice because these are more focused for tracking and so on. So let's see if we will rattle our teeth off or not, because this car will mainly be driven on the road, but my intention is then to also start tracking it. And what Meister R recommends if you are running these specific Club Race coilovers is to have a more track focused tire in order to have the suspension working better with the tire then. But let's see about that. We will swap out the tires as well at some point in time, but not now. We'll see what type of tire we will go with. So with that said then, let's open this bad boy up and see what we have inside. Here we have the coilovers then. So these are again the Club Race version. What I didn't mention earlier is that Meister R have a version called CRD. So the CRD and the Club Race version are on the lower spectrum of the pricing, from a pricing point of view, so to speak. They have a version called GT1 and the GT1 Club Race, which is a more high-end coilover. I actually had ordered those first, but then I canceled and went for these. Hopefully it will be a buy once, cry once type of scenario. If not, we'll take it on from there. So the Club Race version, as I mentioned, is a more track focused coilover. So the springs are rather stiff. In the front we have 10 kilogram per millimeter, and on the rear we are spec'd at 6 millimeter per kilogram. And of course the valving etc. then have been set up for the spring rates. And again, then driving these on the street might be a little bit of a stiff setup, but fortunately we can set the rebound and compression, and also we are able to set the ride height as well, because the wheel gap on the ND is massive, so this will take care of that as well then. So we won't go too much into detail now with regards to the coilovers. I will do a separate video of the install. I will be doing it myself in the garage. It will be a first for me, so stay tuned for that, and hopefully that will give you some insight on the installation. And once we have it installed and we have the car ready, we'll of course do impression videos of how these behave and how I feel they work on road, and hopefully then on track as well. So that was that for the coilovers. Next part I want to talk about is, of course, as you can see, a Axleback system. So I went for a system from a company called Ulter or Ulter. I think they are a Polish based company here in Europe then, and they have these center type of exhaust setup, so it will actually give the rear end of the car a bit more aggressive look. I think the rear end is a little bit too tame. And also in the package then, which I got, we get a rear diffuser then with place for the 2 outlets, so we will unpack that now as well. I have not seen it myself, so this is going to be interesting how it looks, and we will of course do a video of this install as well for those of you who are interested in this system. There are a couple of videos on YouTube, but I thought I'll do one as well, and we do it a little bit in more detail on how we actually install the diffuser and how the system sounds and how it looks, etc. A lot of talking, so let's take the diffuser out and see what it looks like. Here we have it, and it will definitely give a more aggressive look to the car. And what I can say is, from a quality perspective, this might not be the best thing, but let's see how it looks once it's installed. And I think this bolts on top of the diffuser, which is already there, and we'll have to use some 3M tape and potentially some bolts then to get it in place. Next we have what's inside these rather large boxes. You might already have a hunch what they are. It is a front splitter and side skirts, and I did opt to go for the OEM parts. I have been looking around for different vendors and so on, but OEM is always OEM. What is the negative side with these are, one being they're rather expensive, but the second part is you actually have to drill in the front bumper in areas which will be visible, and the same for the rocker panels. So this is nothing that we will be able to mount and then take off and sell separately, because then it will leave ugly holes in the car, so to speak. So hopefully we will be keeping the car for a long time. Let's have these open up and see what the parts look like. Finally, that was a bit of a challenge to get unwrapped. So this is the front splitter. As you can see, it's not overly aggressive. Funny though is that I have a brand new Performance Pack 2 splitter for the 2018 up Mustang on the attic, which never was mounted on my Mustang. Then hopefully we will get around and mount this splitter. And we have the side skirt. This one though is quite a bit more aggressive. As you can see, it's a larger piece. It will make a larger impact from a side point of view, and also together with the lowering, and if we go for other wheels or if we do spacers or something like that, the whole appearance of the car will look much more settled. It will look fatter, if you know what I mean. So hopefully my vision of how the car should look will be the same in reality. And I will do a install video of these, and hopefully it will help somebody out with regards to how to install it. And that is only valid if I don't mess anything up, then that is. So let's have a look at what we have left to unbox. Next we have this box, and to be honest, I can't fully remember of what's inside of it because I got it or I purchased these parts, I think it was in November or December sometime, so this has remained unopened, so it's going to be interesting what we have inside. I do remember some of the stuff, but the rest of it we'll have to see once I have it open. And also I'll put links down below to all the parts and where I got them from. It's no affiliate link, so I won't get any money or so, but hopefully it will help you out if you are interested in some of these parts or all of it or whatever. That said, then let's open this bad boy up and see what we have inside. First out is a grille. So this is a bolt-on more or less. It bolts on top of the OEM grille and gives the car a little bit more of an aggressive look. I don't really like how the OEM grille looks, but what is unfortunate, as you can see, we have 3 places here where we need to drill. This part I think I can cover where we already have the license plate holder, but the ones at the end we'll have to see if we can find a nice solution for. And this is then from Zunsport. Next is a D-mod or a mod or whatever we could call it. It is a sound to delete. So on some cars, I don't know if all cars have it, but the Mustang had it, the ND has it. So there's a sound tube going from the intake and into the inside of the cabin to actually enhance the engine sound inside the cabin. And I'm not too fond of that, so I did opt for this sound tube delete kit then, and it is a Mazda OEM part, and I guess this is going to be a very quick install. Let's see what we have inside this package. First thing inside the envelope is a short antenna, and that is because the OEM one is like 6 meters long, and this will be much nicer on the car compared to the OEM one. This mod we will actually do today because it takes like a minute and then we're done. And what we also have, I am not sure about this, but some folks say the doors, etc., it could rattle a bit when going over bumps, etc., and potentially it gives the feeling of a stiffer car, and that is bushings for the door. I have never heard of such thing before, but the OEM ones are soft rubber ones, and these are Delrin bushings, so we will replace those as well, and we'll see if it makes any difference or not. And this is also a rather straightforward install then. We have one more package I think to go. Let's see what's inside that one and we'll wrap this video up. This is the last package for this video. We have some other stuff coming as well. Well, we have to take that when that day comes. This feels like Christmas because I don't know myself what it looks like. However, the packaging I have opened because when I picked it up at DHL, the packaging was a little bit mushed. And this is then a rear spoiler, a little bit more aggressive look to the rear again then. I had a look on the OEM one, which comes in the same package as the front splitter and the side skirt, but in my opinion I needed something that was a little bit more aggressive but not too much. Hopefully this will fit and tick all those boxes. If not, then we have to reconsider. And this one I got from eBay, and that seller, which I will link to down below, have sold a different version of spoilers to MX5 owners, and they seem to be happy. Again, then this is a little bit more aggressive version. So let's have a look and see what it looks like. Here we have the spoiler then. It has a really nice finish to it. The paint job has been done really nicely. So it is a gloss black finish, color matched with the rest of the gloss black parts of the car. And as you can see, it is a little bit more aggressive compared to the OEM one, but I don't think it's over the top. And also, as you can see, it has this portion a little bit indented to give it a little bit more aggressive look from the rear, and hopefully with all the parts installed the car will look much more aggressive, and also we will have a more individual touch to it. So yeah, that is that, and this one will then be installed with only 3M tape, so I won't be doing any drilling, etc. Alright, those are most of the modifications that we'll be doing to the MX5. I have some more stuff incoming, so stay tuned for that. Remember to subscribe and hit that bell notification to stay notified when I release those videos. As you may have seen or you may have not seen, I have already done a mod to this car, which is the Expel paint protection film, which we installed a couple of weeks ago. I link it up above and you can have a look at that video. And also I have done a 2-car polish and done a new car prep, etc. And I will be releasing that video soon as well, so stay tuned. But before we end today's video, we have to replace this ugly antenna. And also, if you have any questions at all, just hit me up in the comment sections below and I will answer them the best I can. See you on the next one. In order to be able to switch out the antenna, we need jack and jack stands and a bunch of tools, because we need to disassemble the whole rear portion of the car in order to get, or maybe not, I have never in my life considered switching out an antenna, but I guess everything has its first. And this is really simple. You just unscrew the OEM antenna like so without dropping it on your paint and screwing something up like so. Set that aside and you take your stubby antenna and you just screw it into place like so. This is one of the most cheapest and simplest mod you can do, and it really has a big impact.